How can you possibly sit there and not listen to this podcast? I mean, you aren't even wearing any pants! So, while you're studying for that surprise math quiz, be sure to head over to patreon.com/RecessCastProductions. For less than the cost of your sanity, you can support our show, bonus episodes, early access, and exclusive content. We'll also remind you to wear your pants before you leave home. Again, it's patreon.com/RecessCastProductions. Enjoy the show.
All right, so in order to keep the two parts together this season, we're going to be knocking 3 episodes out today. Welcome to the After Credits Cast, the only film podcast that does not have time to goof around. I'm serious, we're not fucking with you. Not today. I'm joined by Ryan Metters, and that's it this week. So let's get to some bending, people.
Wait, I forgot my pants at home.
Damn it! You can follow us on patreon.com/RecessCastProductions, also on YouTube, Pippa, Apple Podcasts, whatever the fuck Google's using now, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, and many more. Google us, and you will find us, just not on Google Play. You can also find us on Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook to reach out to us in the community. We'd love to hear your thoughts on why we should do whatever. You should just give us your thoughts on whatever. Ryan, where could they email us at if they want to give us their thoughts?
They can email us at passlesspodcastproductions at excuse me. That's evacstation@gmail.com.
And if you sign up on the Patreon, you can get live streams of those pantsless podcasts directed to your home.
That's an OnlyFans, Aaron. Come on, man. Stop that.
So, we have 3 episodes going on. Let's start with Side A, which covers The Runaway, originally airing in November in the U.S. on November 2nd, 2007. A lot of words. Written by Joshua Hamilton and directed by Giancarlo Volpe. Animated by Moe Animation. The cast includes new members such as Joe Alaskey as the dealer, and Greg Baldwin as the grunts and growls of Combustion Man. It does feel weird that give him a voice for this, and he doesn't really speak. But anyway, fun facts.
Hey man, Vin Diesel made a grip off of saying "I am Groot." All right, I'll give that man some grunts.
Fair.
This is fine. Fun facts. We got 2 of them for you today. Toph pretending to be hit by a carriage carrying wealthy merchant bears similarity to a real insurance scam known as a flopsy. Don't ask us how we know that. And don't ask why my student loans just got paid off. Don't worry about that.
Well, that's because of Joe Biden, obviously.
Obviously. Finally, for this one, Toph's ability to know when she won caused authorities to believe that she was not actually blind. A section of her wanted poster asserts that she disguises herself as a blind person. I love this running gag because she's so capable, nobody believes she's actually blind.
It's a fun little gimmick with her character that just never stops. Synopsis here for you. Toph commits a series of misdemeanors with her daredevil powers. This draws the attention of local authorities as well as Sparky Boom Man. The gang must escape the ill-gotten gains in time to get to the invasion. Oh, and some tension between Toph and Katara again.
Quick and simple and to the point.
Well, we got 3 episodes to cram into this, man. We got to roll.
I know.
First question I got for you, Ryan. Do you feel the tension between Toph and Katara is established well, and how do you feel about its resolution?
I don't feel that it's established well. I do like its resolution. I do. I think it addresses some well-established tropes with Katara being Team Mom and Toph being Miss I'm a bad independent bitch and I don't need no person to help. It addresses those. So while I think those roles were established, I don't think the tension between them has really been a thing since last season. So just reintroducing it to kind of give them something to play off of feels a little forced.
It felt flat for me when I first saw it. I did like that they finally came together at the end, especially when they're in the prison cell and they were... I guess, kind of work together. I mean, Katara does most of the heavy lifting, but, I mean, you know.
She can't bend wood, man.
Listen. These girls, if they really wanted to bend wood, they could bend wood. Let's be real.
Look, man, if Toph can bend metal and then bend wood, she's too strong. Stop it. Just stop it.
Y'all out there, if you're on Rule 34, you get my euphemism. Anyway.
Oh, this is for kids, Aaron.
I know. I regret everything already. No, I think overall it worked out well, and it leads into the next episode pretty spectacularly, so I'll leave it where it is. Comic relief aside, Ryan, why are Sokka and Aang especially dumb in this episode?
Because it's a comedic relief episode.
Yeah.
honestly, that's it, man. Especially like Sokka is an established genius at this point. Yep. Yes, he's quirky, but we are all well past the Sokka's dumb character relief. Nah. That's the fucking tactician. We go to him for plans. So him being especially clueless, it was fun. It was funny, and like Aang and Sokka being like willing goons in these schemes that Toph was pulling off. It was fun, and it was a nice way to kind of blow off some steam before like the big shit happens. So I'm not super mad at it.
I'm not super mad, but it does bug me a bit when he thinks writing a letter from one person to the other makes any sense at all when one of them can't read or write. Like, come on, Sokka. You've been with these people for this long. You have built submarines, sort of.
They were stretching that far this episode.
I'm just saying, like, you can do better than Sokka. We know you better than this. Also, it's your fucking bird delivering the message. Who's going to believe that either one of them will use your fucking bird? How does a jailer know to put them in a wooden cell, as no one outside of Team Avatar should be aware of the existence of metal bending?
I think the wooden cell was just a convenient thing, because it didn't seem to be like a huge, like, it might not have been like a huge metal producing town. So they might have, like, just the majority of the structures, and particularly the jail that they use, is made of wood. That's really all I took it as.
But remember this, though. They are in the Fire Nation, full of firebenders. If they have a prisoner who's a firebender, that jail cell's gonna do fuck all.
Alright, yeah, that's just a contrivance for the episode. That's just a contrivance for the episode then, man.
Because I'm trying to think...
I tried, guys. I tried.
Well, so let's scale back a bit. So obviously the capture is a ploy by Sparky Boom Man to catch them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he has to know. But the question is, how does he know? He can only get that information from one reliable person, that'd be Zuko. Zuko's never seen metal bending yet, as far as I know. Azula...
It's possible that we know that he's trailing them and has been doing reconnaissance when he can, so it's possible that he might have seen it. Did Toph metal bend while in the during the beach episode?
I don't recall. I'm pretty sure she just earthbended because they were like just camping out, so she shouldn't have had any like significant metal to use.
Mm-hmm.
And then thinking back to the fall of Ba Sing Se, she metal bended out of the prison cell, and that was the only time she really metal bended in front of anybody else. Unless maybe stories of her metal bending on the Fire Nation ships had been getting out there, but again, there shouldn't be that many, and I can't imagine they would have gone all the way to him.
Or Combustion Man tracked down the two goons that were chasing her for her father, because they know she can metal bend.
That seems
Maybe. That's a stretch.
That seems like a lot of work to do when you're trying to catch the Avatar, but you know what? I'll give him that one if they can give me some receipts.
Yeah, we need receipts, y'all.
Because that seems like a very contrived plot element, and a very important one for this episode.
Guys. I'm trying.
How good are you at these kind of gambling and hustling games, Ryan?
Oh, horrible. You see how expressive I am, right? In terms of like keeping my composure and shit, I'm pretty bad. I'm pretty bad.
See, I like to think I'm good because I tend to have a pretty consistent expression when I do stuff. I might have a tell, but I'm pretty consistent.
Yeah.
But I also make some weird plays on weird hands to throw people off the game so they don't know what my tells are.
Yeah.
Like I'll purposely go in heavier on a bad hand or go lesser on a good hand just to throw them off.
My only saving grace in terms of games like these is that I can get pretty analytical and in the tank, so in the think tank. So if I'm trying to strategize or trying to do something, my mind will be so busy of thinking of things that it won't really show on my face. But if it's kind of straightforward, the emotions can just flare up pretty easily, and it's hard to keep that close to the chest. So if I'm doing something very analytical, then it might be hard to see where I'm going.
Uh-huh.
He takes notes for the next time we play poker.
I am taking notes, actually, yes. I'm more of a Texas Hold'em man myself. I like the ability to see what everyone else has got a little bit of, so that way I'm not going in blind. The 5-card stud it's a bit more of a gamble because I don't know what anyone's got at all.
Right.
That's all I really have for questions on this one. Ryan, was there anything you wanted to add to it at all?
Not really, no.
This isn't a bad episode. It's just there's not a lot of depth to it. It definitely is
It's a filler.
It's a pseudo filler episode. There's a few.
It's fun, but it's a filler. Episode.
Yeah, it sets up for the eventual conflict with Sparky Boom Man and of the next episode.
I have been ready for this one for a while. Oh shit!
I'm so excited. Welcome to Side B, where we get to the highlights of tonight's episode, The Puppet Master, originally airing November 9th, 2007, because Nickelodeon apparently couldn't schedule a Halloween episode properly. Written by Tim Hedrick, and directed by Joaquin Dos Santos, animated by JM Animation. The cast includes Stu Levin as Old Man Ding, and the amazing voice talent of Tress MacNeille as Hama.
Oh my god, here we go. All right, 2 quick fun facts so we can get to the synopsis. This is one of the very, very, very few, if not the only episode in which Aang does not bend any element at all. He is completely sidelined for this one in terms of fighting and bending.
Feels kind of nice, actually.
It's good. This is the Katara episode that they finally figured out how to do right and really make Katara the main focus of the episode. So Aang kind of scaling back, perfectly done. Last fun fact, this episode called into question whether the Avatar receives a boost to his or her power from the full moon like normal waterbenders, and by extension firebenders with the comet, as Aang could not break free from Hama's bloodbending while Katara could. I wonder if that's indicative of him not getting the boost or him just not being
as good
a master, because Katara is the master waterbender.
Yeah, unless Aang goes into full-on Avatar mode, I think Katara beats him in waterbending 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, just straight waterbending, no other elements. Yeah, no, she's got him. She is his master. That's 100%. But I think I do think he still I think he still receives those power-ups because, I mean, spoilers, but in the comet, he's throwing some big flames around even before he goes Avatar. He's throwing some massive fire around. So I think he still gets those power-ups.
Yeah. I just think that bloodbending is so new that I don't think he could... Because even Katara didn't resist it right away. I think because Aang didn't even know what it was when it happened. He didn't know how to fight it.
Definitely.
That makes more sense to me. So I've got a synopsis for you, Ryan. Are you ready for this?
I am. Let's get it.
The gang tells ghost stories that a creepy old woman appears. She offers them lodgings and they discover her via snooping she is a former southern waterbender, having been relocated after breaking out of a Fire Nation prison. We come to find out that her method of escape was a self-made waterbending technique. blood bending, which allows her control over another creature's body. She and Katara fight because blood bending is bad. Getting pushed into a corner, Hama uses her power to almost kill Aang and Sokka. This forces Katara to use blood bending, even though she hates it. Katara won the battle, but Hama broke her spirit.
Damn.
Yeah, these synopses haven't been as funny because it's kind of hard to make fun of this one. Like, damn.
No, this was real. This is a real episode, guys.
Like I said, this is the horror episode, and by golly,
there were goofy, fun ghost shenanigans like towards the beginning of it, but yeah, it's just like, we're robbing people of free will here. We're going into the fact that water is really the basis of life, and as such, a waterbender has a lot of control if you're willing to be mean about shit. I was like, oh yeah, I'll just take the water out of the living organism and use it. That's perfectly fine.
Well, so this goes into our first question, which is this episode greatly expands how powerful waterbending can be. What are your thoughts in regards to the concept of exploring the waterbending? So this ties back into the swamp episode, if we're being honest here, because we get to see them using waterbending to control the plants. And that's how they make the giant swamp monster thing.
Right.
And it's a cool concept that you didn't think about until then. And they further expand it here by pulling the water out of stuff, which we saw last episode with the sweat bending, and here we are now pulling it out of plants, out of people, controlling the liquid in the people. It just goes to show water bending. So I guess what the best way to explain it is water adapts to any container it's put in. Water bending adapts to any situation it's put in, and I think this exemplifies that to the utmost degree.
Yeah, I mean, like there are a lot of people who kind of hate on waterbending as being the weakest because they need to, like, it requires water to be like outside of you in order to actually be useful. But this episode really goes into the fact it's just like, hey, if there's life around you, the waterbender is terrifying. Like, if there's life, period, she has ammunition. That's bad.
That's bad, okay?
That's real bad. So yeah, seeing Katara get this powerful yet highly immoral boost is very, very interesting because it makes her character more powerful. It adds to her mastery, but it also gives her something to morally wrestle with.
It kind of reminds me of when you're in an RPG and you get like a cursed weapon that does bad shit, but it's also your most powerful weapon. Like, is that something you really want to use and risk yourself on, or do you just let it sit in the sidelines and you just struggle with everything else you have?
Yeah, 100%. Because I mean, when the chips are down and your friends are bleeding out, you're gonna pull out that cursed sword. Like, okay, we'll deal with the ramifications of this later. We have to first make sure we live for the next 5 minutes. And and so while Katara doesn't want to continue on the practice, she, being a fucking genius and a master of waterbending, she instinctively picks up on it and she has to use it. So now it's a part of her repertoire. It's a part of her toolkit, regardless. So whenever she's pushed to the brink on a full moon, she can just fucking snatch you and be done with it.
Remember when she could barely make a splash in the water?
She's come so far. I'm so proud of her.
It's almost terrifying, honestly.
No. We'll get to the terrifying Katara moment later on.
Oh yeah, no, it's coming. It's coming.
Like this my favorite Katara moment.
Like this is
the standout.
Like if we're gonna be real, this is part 1 of 2. If we're getting real here. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know where to go with that. I'm just gonna move on to the next question, I suppose. So we've already talked about Aang resisting bloodbending. Would you be interested in seeing an Avatar take on bloodbending, or do you think that's a step too far?
An Avatar actually bloodbending?
Yeah.
That's rough. That's rough.
Like obviously Korra doesn't do it in her tenure, as far as we know. But what about the next waterbender, or even another Avatar in general?
I think things would have to get bleak as fuck if we were going to see an Avatar actually dip into that. I mean, especially with all of the tools in the Avatar's arsenal, I find it hard to see them have to resort to that, because if you literally have all the elements at your command, you're never unarmed, you know? And you have to be able to move in order to bloodbend. So am I going to use the elements to subdue you and actually defeat you? Or am I going to use a secret, highly immoral technique to deprive you of your agency? I don't think there's ever a moment where they get to like that last ditch situation where they have to use it, because there are so many other things they could do.
That's fair. That's fair. Speaking of which, what does bloodbending bring to the world of Avatar? And is it a technique you would ever consider using?
It's oh man, it's I love it because it increases the darkness of the world. Like I think that like one of the greatest things that this show does is it showcases the bad that's capable in everybody. We see the Fire Nation doing bad shit because they're trying to conquer the world, but then in season 2, we're like, there are also some corrupt Earth people that are willing to threaten to kill your loved ones if you don't do what they want you to do to get them out of a bind. And with this, it shows that even though the Water Tribe is really, really cool and it's steeped in tradition and they're all about life and like the motion of the moon and the ocean and water and all that good stuff, there can be some darkness to it. Everybody is capable of great extremes, just like Roku said, good or evil in anybody. So seeing the dark side of waterbending absolutely makes the world a lot fuller than it was before this episode.
I guess to add to that too, what are some other dark techniques like bloodbending you'd like to see from the other elements?
I mean, there are spoilers here for Korra.
Fair enough.
Spoilers here for Korra. Suffice it to say, there are things in airbending that can absolutely be terrifying, if not in the hands of pacifists.
You might say it could take your breath away.
Yeah, you could say that. You actually could say that.
I'm just trying to think of what you do as a firebender or an earthbender to do like some sort of body horror thing.
Well, I mean, you come equipped with your own blowtorch, so torture is a thing that's very attainable with fire.
Fair enough.
See, this is where we need that dark, gritty Avatar Netflix. Just don't make it like The Last Airbender. Give me, oh girl, fucking, hold on, shit, wait, Kyoshi, thank you.
Okay.
Give me Kyoshi. Give me somebody that we haven't seen yet. Just like if you want to go dark, because there are definitely some darker themes that you can explore in this story.
Absolutely.
Just don't taint my babies, man. Don't taint my kids.
Don't taint the kids, guys. That's the quote of the day right there. Don't taint the kids. Do you feel this episode effectively captured the essence of horror cinema? Why or why not?
Not for me particularly. I think there were a lot of horror elements in this episode. I think they did a good job, a good homage to that genre. I don't think it ever really made its way into horror for me, but I think that's just because at the end of the day it's a Nickelodeon cartoon. So I don't think it could get there with the constraints of simply being a kid show.
See, I'd argue it. I think it did, and
Okay.
my argument it has a few things to it. Number one, there's a genuine mystery to it, which doesn't have to be in horror, but I think it helps. It draws you in. It gets you hooked. The other thing too is the villain wins. I mean, she gets captured, yes, but ultimately she wins the moral victory. She corrupts Katara and gives her something she didn't want, and the very concept itself is bone chilling or blood curdling, I guess you should say. And no, just the idea that she was able to corrupt one of our heroes and just to for her own gain, and just even though she's lost the battle, she still came out on top and got what she wanted. Like, I don't know, something about that just feels very creepy and horrible to me. And it's not full on blood and guts horror, but it's definitely psychological at best.
Yeah, yeah. I can accept that. Yeah, the elements of them were definitely there.
Uh-huh. And on that note, I guess I already gave my opinion on this one, but Ryan, did you think Hama really lost to Katara? Why or why not?
So, in terms of like Hama's objective was to pass down her technique and to make sure it survived. In which case, yeah, she definitely won because Katara now knows it, and Katara now has that as an option for when shit gets really bad. What I would love to see, and I don't think we ever get an answer, at least, or like because my memory of Korra is a bit foggy. It's been years, but what I think will really determine if she lost is if Katara passes down the technique, because while it's horrible, while it's horrifying and really really bad, we've seen her pull it out as the trump card if shit gets deep. So, does she also pass that technique on as a break glass in case of emergency thing? If the technique actually lives on past Katara, then yes, Hama absolutely won.
Well, so spoilers a little bit. We do know it does live on beyond her, but I don't think she's ever taught it to anybody. We know of two characters who I won't name who have it that are unrelated to Katara and her teachings. But we know Korra.
Yeah,
we know when Korra encounters it, she was surprised by it. She shouldn't have any idea what it is, really. So the only other person who might know it then would be Kaya, Katara's daughter. But again, we have no evidence of that. So as far as we know, it hasn't been passed on. They may have been made aware of it, but they don't know anything else beyond that, as far as I know.
Well, then I would say that with like the passing of like 80 some odd years, however much time is between Aang and Korra, it's absolutely quite possible that somebody else just figured out the technique.
Possibly
because she figured it out. She figured out the technique. Other people can also put two and two together and figure it out.
Oh yeah.
I think you are. There isn't really any evidence to determine whether or not Katara passed it down. So I honestly can't say for sure. I think if she did pass it down, then yeah, Hama won. Then because the technique actually lived on past the person that she taught it to.
Welcome to Solari. See, is that even a thing? What is this? Nightmares and Daydreams.
Nightmares and Daydreams, originally airing November 16th, 2007. Written by John O'Brien and directed by Ethan Spaulding. Animated once again by Moe Animation. The cast, no new voices. This is the final appearance, though, of Brian George as Guru Patik.
Nice. We got one fun fact for you guys this time round. In Aang's first dream, he is seen dressed similarly to Goku from the Dragon Ball series, in orange clothes with a belt and large, spiky, dark hair. In his second dream, he appears similar to Vash the Stampede via the ear piercings, hairstyle, high collar coat, and chain belt contraption that holds up the pants. Shout out to my Trigun fans. Y'all know what it is. His running style is similar to that of Naruto, so this was definitely the shout out episode to all of the four runners that came before them in terms of animation. So that was really cool to see.
There's not a lot of meat to this episode, but there is definitely a lot of fun references. That it's still a fun episode to watch. It's just not going to be a deep episode to watch, I don't think.
Yeah.
Aang is stressing hard about the invasion in just a few days. He struggles to sleep through a mountain of bad dreams, all of which are references to popular anime, movies, games, and the like. After several hilarious and kind of stressful sequences, Katara, as always, manages to talk him into the right state of mind to finally get him calmed down and rest. Meanwhile, Zuko is called into a meeting for the first time by his father. We learn the content of this meeting in several episodes, and it ain't good. Zuko even admits he didn't feel like himself at this meeting. I can't wait till we get to that revelation, because oh boy, is that a fucking head turner right there.
That's a blow, man. That's a gut punch.
It's one of those things too when you find out what it is. It's like, Zuko, hey there, buddy. Probably should have led with that first. Anyway, so let's start through some questions, Ryan. Which dream sequence did you enjoy the most?
It's gotta be the Vash Stampede one. It's gotta be. I haven't seen Trigun in so long, but it's absolutely one of my favorite anime. It's really, really good. If you guys haven't checked it out, I cannot do it justice. Go watch that shit.
I'm bringing up the episode just so I can have references, because the one I'm thinking of is probably the Appa versus Momo sword battle.
That was so good. Oh my god.
Because it's goofy as shit. It's super goofy. But the running joke about Aang not having pants is also pretty fun. Actually, you know what? I know I'm listing a million different things, but I'm going to go with the passionate confession he makes to Katara in his hallucination, because it just is so out of character and goofy. And then when he realizes it's all a dream, he's like, oh, nothing, no, never mind, we're good. The delivery is pretty solid there.
Oh yeah.
But speaking of which, who deserved to win that sword battle? Appa or Momo?
You know... Fuck. I gotta give it to Momo. It's just like the nonchalant carefreeness of the Ronin stance with the fucking single sword. Man, yeah. His opponent had 6 swords, dog. This was rough.
I mean, for me, I would think that the 6 swords should win. I mean, he's got 6 of them. It's like General Grievous all over again. Well, actually, wait, General Grievous lost. I should probably reanalyze this a little bit.
Yeah. Also, Appa had on a bunch of fucking armor, so he would have been slower to move. Momo was nimble. He was quick. All he needed was one good swing to end the fight. Yeah. No, I had to give it to Momo there.
On a more serious question, Ryan, what kind of stress dreams have you had?
Boy, oh boy. My dreams are weird. They're very cinematic, but they don't have, or at least I can't seem to link it to anything that I'm going through originally. I'll tell, one that I had, I wasn't particularly stressed, but it was so vivid that I couldn't forget about it. I was a police officer, and I was in dress blues, and I was standing amidst other police officers in at a popular L train stop that's above ground. And we were having kind of a ceremony, where there was a bunch of us in dress blues, and there was a row of officials at the front, and they dragged in another policeman. And like some of the officials started beating the shit out of the policeman in front of all of us because he had spoken out about something. I couldn't remember the context, and I felt this was wrong. So in my dream, in my dress blues, I went to defend him, and I actually had like a fight amongst a bunch of other police officers, and nobody helped me, but there were a lot of officers that stood silent and still, like they were still at the, like in the ceremony, where they couldn't bring themselves to help, but they also couldn't bring themselves to change anything, and so they just stood there in silence. I wasn't feeling particularly social justicey that week, but apparently my mind just wanted to play out that sequence in my head. So I couldn't tell you where that came from.
So I've had a couple of instances of stress dreams myself. One of which was more recent, but I don't remember it very well. It was me working on a system and just kind of... Yeah, I can't remember that one very well. The one I remember very vividly was when I was at the call center back in Iowa City. And I was on the phone in the dream and trying to look up information on the computer. But as I was trying to type things in, the letters and numbers on the screen would just slowly start disappearing or moving away or what have you. Like they just wouldn't cooperate. And eventually the screen just started like doing this whole like Matrix rain effect, where all the letters and stuff were just like falling down in this green stream of like shit, and none of the computers are working, or at least the one I was on wasn't working, and I just couldn't find anything, couldn't do anything, and I just woke up like, what the fuck was going on there? Like, it wasn't anything super bad, it was just one of those things just reminding me of how much I hate just sitting in front of that screen all day doing absolutely nothing. So, yeah. And I'm sure I've had more like that. It's just that's the one that comes to mind. Had a vivid visual to it. So, yeah. Why do you think it took this long for Zuko to realize this isn't what he wanted after all?
I mean, spoilers for the plan of genocide notwithstanding. I think it's more likely the culmination of getting literally everything that he wanted, because this is also the first time that he's acknowledged by his father and seated at his right hand. Like, this is it. This is literally everything he's worked for. And I think the decision to not show us the meeting, but rather just go after it, and it felt like nothing had happened, was perfect. Not only because it holds back what was in the meeting, which will be very important later on, but to showcase that even him getting like the big thing that he had always wanted, it actually felt like nothing to the audience. So we also got like the audience and Zuko were kind of in the same spot, where it's just like it felt like nothing happened. And the idea that he literally obtained the biggest goal he ever wanted, and it being empty, we're just not feeling anything, was the perfect capstone to realize, what the fuck am I doing?
Mm-hmm. And again, it's kind of hard to tell how much time has passed since Ba Sensei. But it seems like it hasn't been too long. Maybe, like, what, a month and a half?
Yeah, I think so.
So, while it feels like a long time for us, because this season's dragged out over the course of, like, what, a year, it's definitely a shorter time for them. And, I don't know. I just feel like I'm impatient with Zuko. I'm like, bro, learn your lesson already and move on. Come on, your uncle needs you.
I mean, Zuko Iroh don't need shit.
Well, so Iroh doesn't need Zuko, but I think he would rather have Zuko in his life than not.
Yes, definitely. But I mean, you can't.
I know you can't rush personal growth.
Right. I didn't feel impatient because every time we saw him, he felt like he was making progress. He felt like it actually felt like a deep, substantial change was in the midst of occurring. It hadn't finished, but he hadn't stalled, he hadn't backslid. It's just every time he showed up, he was just given another thing to chew on, and then another, and then another, and then another. It's just like, fuck, yeah, what the hell am I doing? This is horrible. Oh, God. Ira was right. Jesus Christ. So, yeah.
Final question I have, and this might be repeating one we've done before, but I keep bringing it up because there are things in episodes that tie back to it. Do you think Azula ever genuinely cared for Zuko, or was it always just an act?
Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think Azula only saw an opponent. She only saw someone to compete with. And for her father, it was easy because she was the perfect daughter and Zuko couldn't do shit right. But he always managed to get the one thing that eluded her, which was that love and affection and the lack of fear from her mom. And seeing him beat her, even though it wasn't a competition for him, he just wanted to be with his mom. But in her mind, seeing him beat her over this illogical fucking thing that she shouldn't even want in the first place, yeah, I don't think there's ever any coming back for her, at least. I don't think there was ever going to be her actually having affection for him, because all she saw was an asshole who kept, like, an incompetent child who kept getting the thing that she shouldn't even want in the first place, but does.
Mm-hmm. And then, final question I'm adding on here, just to relate to this episode, Ryan. When you have struggles getting to sleep, what do you do? Ryan, it's not a deep episode. I have to find some filler in here somewhere.
I have. There's the SFW version, and then there's the non-SFW version.
Oh God.
So we'll keep it suitable because it's for kids. I have a bit of a nightcap, and like the main thing is to kind of tire myself out. So if I have a bit of a drink and just do something nice and soothing, my body will naturally start to kind of wind down, and then I'll be able to go to sleep.
I don't struggle to sleep too often. Usually it's if I'm having trouble with breathing, like if I'm sick or something. But there's ever a night where I'm like not getting to sleep pretty quick. Usually the thing that gets me to sleep, and it's going to sound weird, is I just try to picture a Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon battle in my head. And it's not that those things bug me, but I think it's because my brain's trying to keep track of so many variables, like all the different Pokemon and what they're doing, and how many people are left on one's team, or the Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards and stuff. that my brain's working overload, and eventually it's like, okay, listen, I'm done with this shit, go to sleep.
I know. I just play complex card games in my head on both sides just to tucker me out. Like, fucking okay, sure, Aaron. All right.
Listen, I don't usually
get it. You're better than us.
No, listen, Ryan. I don't usually get past like the first couple turns before I stop remembering what happened. Usually cards are drawn, some like fucking smack talk is being said, a few monsters are summoned, and then it's like, what? Oh, I'm awake. It's morning.
I'm surprised you don't have many, or do you have many Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Inspired dreams then, if you do that?
No, I have had a few that are inspired by XCOM though, where like me and the crew are like people in the little soldiers or whatever, the army, and we're just fighting XCOM or fighting zombies in Left 4 Dead kind of thing. I've had those before, and I actually had full stories for those, but complex strategy games or something like that, those are hard for me to mentally keep going without falling asleep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my trick, and it doesn't always work, but most of the time it does. So yeah, those are 3 episodes, and we shoved those into 45 minutes. I'm actually very impressed how quick we got through all those.
Yeah, damn.
And if you want to support our show and how quickly we can get through episodes, you should go to patreon.com/recesscastproductions. For less than the cost of what you were at the beginning of the episode, you know what the cost is. You can go there and support our show. Ryan, if they want to email us directly, because Twitter and Facebook may not be working for everybody, where can they email us at?
They could email us at 3 episodes 1 podcast at excuse me. No, it's probably really NSFW. No, that's evacstation at gmail.com.
That's what they talk about masturbation stuff, probably. Anyway,
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, we have 3 episodes to rank, Ryan, and we have 15 minutes to do it. I think we have plenty of time. Ryan, where would you rank The Runaway on our scale of platinum to bronze, all the colors in between?
Okay, yeah, this one's gonna be a bronze. It's not a bad episode. It's fun. It lets you vent a little steam. It keeps Combustion Man relevant, and it serves as a kind of subtle segue into the Puppeteer, which is very interesting. But overall, it's a filler episode. It's fun. It's you don't miss anything if you don't see it. So yeah, I'll give it a bronze.
It is not the worst filler episode of this season by any means. True. It's not the worst filler episode of the whole series by any means. But it's definitely middle ground at best. But I'd say probably high bronze, maybe low silver. We'll just keep it in bronze for now.
Yeah.
Next up is The Puppet Master. Where would you rank this one, Ryan?
Fuck. I don't know.
I will say this. For me, it's in contention for the best filler episode, hands down. Like,
yeah,
there's no central plot to it. There's no like Fire Nation battle.
You're right.
Happening.
Technically, it is filler.
but with that in mind, though, it is on par with Jet. It is one of the best ones.
It is.
It's one that I want to go back and watch because it's that much fun.
And they finally fucking figured out how to give Katara the spotlight without making her seem incompetent or whiny. So, like, this is really good. This is the second best Katara episode.
We will get to the first one soon.
It leads into the first best Katara episode. So, I mean, they struck gold and then they went back to the well. So, good shit. I'm trying to figure out how not to give it a platinum because I'm trying not to just throw out platinums like willy-nilly.
No, I know. And the worst part is this third season's really hard because we aren't even to the best episodes. Like, this is really good. This is up there. But, like, we have Black Sun coming. We have Boiling Rock coming. We have Southern Raiders coming. We have the fucking Sozin's Comet coming.
Yeah.
We will be at this for a while.
Yeah, okay, yeah. In light of the fucking top tier episodes that we still haven't hit in this season, I'm gonna give this a gold. This is a fantastic episode. It's absolutely one of the most notable, and it leads up to Katara's very best episode. So I'm gonna give it a gold because we got much better shit coming along the way. But this is the highest gold. This is probably the highest This is one of, if not the highest gold of this season.
So I'm gonna commit because I already did say this is on par with Jet. We gave that a platinum. I'm gonna say it's platinum.
All right.
But I'm biased because you know me. I like my horror spooky shit, and this is my jam. It hits all the notes I want, so this is perfect for me. So this is solid platinum right here.
This is the 1-2 punch for Southern Raiders for me, though. So I'm gonna give this a gold, but I think we know where I'm going with the 2 punch.
Yep. Also, shout out to Tress McNeil because goddamn girl, you are an actress. You are a treasure. Last we have is Nightmares and Daydreams. Ryan, where do you put this one?
This was fun. I'm still gonna give it another bronze because it's more filler. Well, it's more filler for the majority of the episode because the majority of the episode deals with Aang. The stuff with Zuko, although subtle, is very important and will definitely impact what the hell happens in the coming 2-parter.
In the finale, even.
Yeah, in the mid-season finale. and in the season finale.
Mm-hmm.
But I think overall it was a great homage episode to a bunch of other like very well established anime that are fantastic. It was really cool to see the animators kind of try their hand and kind of pay tribute to the ones that came before them. I think also it was a fun way to reestablish the fact that Aang is still putting a lot of pressure on himself. And while it doesn't explicitly mention what happened at Ba Sing Se, you can absolutely feel shades of that coming because he's like, a big thing is about to happen. And last time a big thing happened, I didn't do so well. I really gotta pull it this time. And he's so worried about being able to do the thing and do what everybody expects him to do that he's driving himself crazy and getting insomnia. Fun way to tackle that, but underlying, again, like we said, the happy-go-lucky episodes are mostly over. So we have a fun episode here, but it's undercut with the tension and the stress of being the savior of the world. I think it's very, very well done, but I'm still going to give it a higher bronze.
Yeah, I'd say bronze. It's an oddly juxtaposed episode because, like you said, it's got this goofy like tone to it, but it's also in the middle of all this shit happening, and and its goofiness is undermined by the fact that it's dealing with a serious problem and a serious conversation probably needs to happen, but it doesn't happen very well, I guess. I don't know how I want to word it, but I think the topic at hand, the stress and anxiety he's dealing with and what he's going through, isn't addressed probably in the most effective way possible. I mean, yes, Katara does eventually talk him down, but it takes a minute, and yeah, I don't know. I think Zuko's stuff is stronger, but also very subtle and very minimal.
Yeah.
Overall,
It also makes sense because this is like the calm before the storm.
Yeah.
Like we're about to get into some real heavy shit in the next couple episodes. So taking this episode to kind of introduce it, but not be as heavy because they know they're about to pile it on the next two episodes makes sense from a storytelling perspective.
Yeah, I get you. I want to like this episode more than it is because I do like dream sequences and stuff, but I don't know, something does not click with me here. And so it's probably going to be more of a bronze. Again, not bad, just not the best it could have been.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, that is it for this week. Next week, get ready for a treat, guys. We are doing the Black Sun Invasion. And from that, it's a sprint to the finale, because it's weird to think we only have like 5 episodes left of this series to record.
Shit hits the fan, y'all. From here on out, we're fucking bolting.
But I'm excited. It's gonna be fun, Ryan. It's gonna be something I think we've been looking forward to for a while. As much fun as it is to take a break from the movies and do this has been fun. But I'm looking forward to getting back to movies here soon too.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for listening, and we will see you after the credits.
Bye.